Hi there, welcome back to the VDC space. So today we're gonna do something a little bit more interesting. We're gonna do a basic 4D animation of a concrete bridge, Girder bridge that we did in Navisworks. So remember the concrete Girder bridge that we did on earlier tutorials. We're gonna export it to IFC and then import it into Navisworks, and then we're gonna do a 4D animation for the entire structure. Before I get started, I would like to ask you guys to please like, subscribe, and share because I share BIM modeling tutorials 3 times every week. I cover different topics as you can see on my playlist. Now, without further ado, let's start with our tutorial. So remember, we have this bridge, the entire bridge. If you're not familiar with the tutorial, I will leave the link in the description. And if you want the project file, you can actually get it from my Patreon. So make sure you subscribe to my Patreon. Oh, and if you want more content when it comes to building information modeling, BIM modeling, just make sure that you join my membership. There are different tiers that suit your needs and also your skills. So anyway, there we go. So we're gonna start in Revit workspace and we're gonna assign every element that we have marks. So for instance, if I select these piles, we're gonna go under identity data and then we're gonna assign marks when it comes to them because it's gonna make it easier for us to filter them out when it comes to Navisworks. So we're gonna start from right to left. So we're gonna start with our piles. So I'm gonna select these piles for our abutment, and then I'm gonna assign them a mark. So I'm gonna name this one P1A, which is pour one. Stands for pouring, concrete pouring in essence, and we're gonna follow up with the piles for P number one. So it's gonna be P2A. Say okay, and then these ones are gonna be P3A. Okay, these ones are gonna be P4A. Say okay, and then P5A. Okay, and then P6A, and then okay, and then for the second apartment, there's gonna be P7A, and then okay. So we're gonna follow up while we move from the substructure to the superstructure. So we're gonna follow up with our bases. So our bases, remember, we have this blinding underneath our bases. So we have to select the blinding along with our bases. So for our bases, I'm gonna name them P1B and say okay. And for our face peer base, it's gonna be P2B and say okay. And then this one is gonna be P3B, okay. And then this one is gonna be P4B, and okay. And then P P5B, okay. And then this one is gonna be P6B, okay. And then this one is gonna be P7B, P7B. Say okay. So I hope you guys see the logic behind this. So we're gonna go with our abutments. So make sure you select the abutment, the approach slab, along with the cobble, concrete cobble. So it's gonna be P1C. And then for our pier shafts and our pier heads, it's gonna be P2C. Okay, P3C. Okay, P4C. And then P5C. P6C. Okay, and then the second abutment going to be P7C. There's also this member which goes along with our abutment. So I'm going to have to rename it P7C. Say okay. I also forgot that part, this side for this abutment. So I'm going to have to rename this one, make it P1C. Say okay. Perfect. Now we're going to move on to our bearings. So we're going to start from this abutment and select all these bearings on top of our abutment A. So this one is going to be P1D. Okay. And I think it's going to be easy if I go to the south elevation and select them like this. Let's see if I select, if I have cancel, if I have selected them all on the 3D. Okay, that's fine. So this one is going to be P2D. Then the next one is going to be P3D. Okay. This one is going to be P4D. Okay. And then this one is going to be, this set is going to be P5D. Okay. And then this one is going to be P6D. Okay. And then this one is going to be P7D and say okay. Perfect. Now the next thing is it's going to be our girder beams. So for our girder beams, we're gonna have to select them all like this. Okay, let's see if you can go to the south elevation. I think it's much more easier that way. So if I select them like this, all of them are selected, that's fine. So I'm just gonna leave this diaphragm member, this concrete diaphragm. I'm just gonna select the concrete girders, and let's see, filter, I selected the level. Okay, and the marks. So after the E, so this is gonna be P1E. Say okay, and then this one is gonna be okay. Let's filter out the level. This one is gonna be P2E. Say okay. This one is gonna be P3, P3E. Okay. Then this one is gonna be P4E, P4E. Say okay. P5E and say okay. And then this one is gonna be P6E. So the last set is gonna be P6E and say okay. So after our concrete eye girders, we're gonna go with our concrete decks. So this is actually the surfacing, the asphalt. So I'm just gonna select all of them, and I'm just gonna right click, hide in view elements, and then I'm gonna hide them. So I'm gonna select my concrete girder. So I'm gonna start with this one. So after E we have F. So this one is gonna be P1F, and then this one is gonna be P2F, and then this one is gonna be P3F, and then this one is gonna be P4F, P5F, P6F, and this is what we have. So after the concrete girders, we're gonna go with our parapets. So I'm gonna select these barriers, right click and say select all. Actually, okay, let's just select this. Control, select this set for the first span. So after F we have G. So this one is gonna be P1G. Say okay. And then for the next span, so that for the next span is going to be P2G. Say OK. And then for the third span is going to be P3G. So it's going to be P3G. And then for this one is going to be P4G. Say OK. P6G. Is it P6G? Let's see. P4G. It's actually P5G. Sorry about that. So it's P5G. And then the last span is going to be P6G, and say OK. So after that, obviously, it's gonna have to be the surfacing. So I'm just gonna say reveal. So I'm gonna select uh, our surfacing, select all the instances visible in view and hide. And then I'm gonna select my surfacing. So this one is gonna be after G, we have H. So it's gonna be P1H, P2H, P3H, P4H, P5H, P6H. Perfect. So now the only thing left, let's see how much we are left, 2 minutes. So the only thing left is our barriers. So I'm going to select the barriers for span one for the first span. So we have I after H, so it's going to be P1I. Say OK. For the second span, it's going to be P2I. Say OK. P3I. OK. P4I. OK. P5I. P6I. Okay, and we are officially done. So I'm just going to save this, and we have incorporated our marks on every element, and now it's time to export it to IFC. So I'm just going to go to File, Export, and say IFC. And then I'm just going to say Modify, Setup. I'm just going to leave it as 2x3. Export only elements visible in view. Property set, I always check these four. And then everything else I'm just going to leave as it is. So I'm just going to save this. So Girder bridge, I think that's fine. And I'm going to export it. Okay, now it's time to take it to Navisworks. So here we are in Navisworks. So let me just open up let's just say new. So here we are in Navisworks. We open up a new file. So the next thing is the way to efficiently import files into Navisworks is to use append. And after using append, you're just gonna go to where you saved your file, and you can just set this file extension to IFC because we saved it as IFC. So you're gonna select IFC, and then you're just gonna say open. So sometimes it takes a while to open, depending on your project size and complexity. But it shouldn't take long for this bridge because it's not that large in size. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Make sure you join my membership. I cover a lot of interesting topics when it comes to the membership tutorials. And also, if you want some of these files, you can just uh, subscribe to my Patreon. That's where you'll get most of these files. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. There you go. So this is what we have. This is the Navisworks interface. So I'm just gonna place it like this as our view. Now the next thing is you're just gonna go to, I think it's view. Let's see. No, it's home. Sorry about that. Under tools, we have this timeliner tab. You're just going to click on it, and this is going to pop up. So the basis of timeliner, we have task, data sources, configuration, and also simulation. Now, in order for you to attach your 3D elements towards your schedule, you have to use task, and you also have to use data sources. For instance, if you have maybe like a schedule in Excel, or a schedule based on a Gantt chart, you can just import it using these file extensions. So if you have Primavera, you can just produce a construction schedule from that, import it into Navisworks, attach it towards your 3D elements, and a construction simulation will happen from that. But in this instance, we're just going to keep it as simple as we can. What we're going to do is we're just going to add some dates, and then we're going to attach these elements towards those dates so that we can perform a simulation. Let's go. So I'm just going to add, we're going to start with our bases. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm just going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I'm just going to click once here and then name this one bases. So after this, I'm just going to add a date. So I'm going to start on the 1st of January, and then the planned end date, I'm going to go with 2nd of January. So this is how we're going to move. So one day each. So for the second one is going to be the 2nd of January, and then the end date is going to be the 3rd of January. And this is how we're going to move. Then the next important thing is your task type. We have three options: construction, demolishment, and demolish, or temporary works. So for all of them, we're gonna set them to construct, because when it comes to configurations, this is what we have, and simulation can only happen when you assign them the task types. So in this instance, we're just gonna assign it construction, and this is what we have. And the next thing is attachment, which goes along with attaching our 3D elements. So after the third, it's going to be from the third to the fourth. So, and then from the fourth to fifth, then fifth to sixth, six to seven, seven to eight, and this is what we have. So I'm going to start with the basis, And in order for me to make it easy for myself to attach these piles, I'm just going to go to find items, and then let's see, find items. Something has to pop up. Okay, there's a tab that has to pop up after I select this. I don't know why it's not. Okay, let's see. P1A. So after setting up your tasks, and make sure you set up your dates, plan dates, task type, set them to construct, and then you're gonna open up find items. And this has to pop up. So after this pops up, you can just extend these headings so it makes it easier for you to read them. And under category, you'll see there's a drop down which you can you can just choose the types of data you want to filter in. So remember, marks are under identity data. So we're gonna set the property to mark, condition to equal sign, and then we're gonna start with our first one. So P1A, which is these piles, you're gonna say find all, and then it's gonna select all of them. And then we're going to select attached, and we're going to say attach current selection. Why is it grayed out? Okay, find all. Let's close this down. Timeliner, find items, find all. Hmm. Oh, sorry, you have to select the task. Sorry about that. So select the task, find all, drop down, attach current selection. And after you select that, as you can see, it will attach this. So if I press on this space just to deselect it, if I select this explicit, it's going to select all of these. So which means you're on the right track. Now we're going to go with the second set of piles, 1PB, find all, which is P1, P2A. So it's going to be P2A, find all. And then we're going to select the second set of piles, drop down, attach current selection. And then P3A, find all, and then select our second set, drop down the attach current selection. And you're gonna do for them, you're gonna do the same logic. It's gonna be applied for the rest of them. So let's just finish these parts. So the next one is gonna be 4PA. So it's 4PA. I mean P4A, find all. And then the fourth one, and then number 5, P5A, find all. And then the sixth one, 56A, P6A, find all, attach. And then the last one, P7A, find all, attach current selection. Perfect. So let me just show you what we did. So if you go to simulate and then settings, override start and end, we're gonna start from the first. Let's start from the 31st so that it starts blank, and then our end date is, I think it ends at, let's see where it ends. So it ends at the 8th. So I'm gonna start from 31st, and then end at 9, and then I'm gonna set this to 25, and then I'm gonna say okay. So if I press play, this is what it does. So this is what it does. So let me just set this to 20. I think it's fine at 20, and then say okay. Now we're going to go back to task, and then we're going to go with our bases. So our bases, there are 7 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if I scroll up, I'm going to start with this one. So from the 8th until the 9th, and then from the 9th until the 10th, from the 10th until 11, 11 until 12, 12 to 13, 13 to 14, 14 to 15. So I'm going to scroll up again. We're going to start with this one. So I'm going to open up find items, and for the basis, remember it's B. So P1B, find all, attach it, set this to construct. Let's just set all of these to construct. And then the second one is going to be P2B, find all, attach. Number 3 is going to be P3B, find all, attach. The fourth one, P4B, find all, attach. Fifth one is going to be P5B, find all, attach. Sixth one is going to be P6B, find all, attach. And then the last one is going to be P7B, find all, and attach. So let's see what we have done now. I'll go back to simulate. I'm gonna so our date ends at 15 now. So I'm gonna go to settings, and then our end date, I'm gonna set it to 16 and say okay. And then I'm gonna press play. So this is how things are gonna be casted. Our base. And this is what we have. So this is basically the logic that you have to follow. Remember, you place, I'm not gonna do the entire bridge. I leave it up to you guys. But if you want more content which involves longer content, just join my membership. You'll come across things like this. But in essence, you just place your tasks, place your dates, set the task type to construction, and then attach your elements using find items and using identity data as your category, property as mark, condition as equal sign, and the values that you have populated from Revit. And yeah, you're actually good to go. And when you go to simulate settings, and you can just set your start date and your end date. And let me just show you the results with the one I have completed. So this one is for Patreon. That's why I named this file for Patreon. So open. So I'm not gonna save this one. So if I press play, this is how it looks. So I made a mistake there, but I think that's fine. So these are the girders, the girders, the girders, the girders, and the decks. Okay, this is actually the correct one that I did today. So let's just go to simulate, and then I'm just gonna press play. So this is how it looks. So the bases, and then we have abutment, and our piers, our bearings, our concrete girder beams, our decks, our parapets, and then our asphalt. So that's it. That is how it looks. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. And please, if you have more questions, just comment down below. I'll be happy to assist you. And thank you guys for watching. And I will see you again on the next tutorial. And I hope you guys learned something today. Peace.